Hi, Mike and Arlen, our Philippine journey. I've been wanting to make this video for a while, but I needed to look around and talk to not just my wife, but also some of the other expat couples that we know. People that I felt actually brought to the table parts of this. Simply stated, besides your dashingly incredible good looks and your incredible ability to be intimately satisfying and your cash, what do you bring to the table? I think you're going to be surprised. Let's talk about it.
I never got it, why'd you have to go? I guess this world's too slow for you. I think there's beauty in the gray, the cold, but you just want the gold. And there's no way I can beat it, cause I got no chance, no chance when it comes to her. She got the glitter and the fame, and I just wasn't enough.
It's really unique when you come right down to it. Um, if you take out of the equation the obvious, all right, the financial support piece, if you take that out of the equation, if that is not the primary focus of what you bring to the table in a relationship with a Filipina, what is it that you actually bring? Well, you bring a lot more than you think. All right. And I'll give you some perfect examples. And these are things that you need to keep in mind, whether you're dating, whether you're exploring a long distance relationship, whether you're retired and here. And it doesn't matter if you're American, British, Australian, Zimbabwe. It doesn't matter. Okay. What do you bring to the table? Well, first, please consider subscribing. In fact, we would really appreciate it if you would subscribe and if you'd hit that thumbs up. It really helps us a lot. Second, generally speaking, and this is not always the case, but generally speaking, there is an age gap relationship between expats and Filipinos. Sometimes that age gap relationship is 30 years, sometimes it's 20 years, sometimes it's 10 years. Okay? But there is an age gap relationship. So what are you bringing to them? Now, they are bringing to you the all the aspects of what you think is a traditional or what you qualify as a traditional wife. All right, great. We're not even talking about that. What we're talking about is what do you bring? Okay. The first thing you bring to them is strategic planning. Filipinos are horrible about this. If you give a Filipina $1,000 on the first of the month, they will spend a considerable amount of it, if not all of it, by the end of the month. Their strategic financial planning is not the best in the world, as set by example. All right. Even though the government does the best that it can to promote saving and this and that, they live in the here and now because that's the culture that they were raised in. And although it's changing and the middle class of the Filipinos are growing, it is still a struggle. Now, you're bringing strategic planning. You're here. You're going to come here. That means you've planned something. I mean, let's make an assumption that you are a relatively stable financial individual. Let's just say maybe the finances aren't great enough where you currently live, but they're more than sufficient here. Okay. Now, what are you doing? Well, the types of things that you bring. First off, where would you be without your retirement? All right. Think about that for a second. You contributed to your retirement all of your life so far, for most of you. Now, there are exceptions to all rules, and they're going to be here. And please don't, if you're going to flame me and troll me for it, fine. We recognize there are exceptions to all rules. But we're talking about generalities. Now, here's what Filipinos don't do that you bring to the table because they're natural for you. Number one, Filipinos, if they're unemployed, if they're not employed, and when I say employed, I'm talking about employed by a major corporation of some sort, they don't have health care. They don't contribute to PhilHealth. Now, PhilHealth is not the best. It's not like Medicare or anything like that, but it does offer advantages to them. Okay? They don't contribute to Social Security unless it's in a major corporation. You'll find that many of them do not. You automatically recognize that. And if you're a decent human being, if you are an understanding person, you're going to make sure that your Filipino partner is contributing every 6 months. Arlene does her Social Security deposits every 6 months. And she needs to do that for 10 years in order to collect Social Security from the Philippine government down the road. Her original intention with that was, I don't even know if the government's going to uphold that. Why should we put money in that now? All right. Her employer previously did, all right, before we were together. But her to come up out of pocket and put that money in, nah. But you bring that to the table. You know you need to plan that for her. All right? With these age gap relationships, generally by the time they get to that age of Social Security, you're going to be long dead. That extra little bit amount of cash is a lot. It really and truly is. It's not much, but it's more than nothing. All right? How about their health care, PhilHealth? You know something? That's probably one of the biggest issues that we see people come around with is health. The unexpected things. You break a bone. You get a severe infection. And I'm talking, it doesn't take anything to get a severe infection here. The environment is just dirty. You have to constantly clean a wound. I have been through that. I kid you not. It took me probably 6 months to heal a wound that got infected. So getting septicemia, getting sepsis, getting bacterial infections, all of those things are common. PhilHealth, making those deposits. All right, saving. So when you, Arlene doesn't have a real allowance, okay? Arlene has access to all of our cash. She's on every bank account, both in the U.S. and here. But she sets aside money every month for her future, okay? I could probably say we set it aside, but we make sure, it doesn't matter how much. We're not talking about high net worth individuals. I'm talking about everybody. If you can't bring anything other than your financial situation makes it the fact that what you're bringing to the table is month to month, that's fine. That's what it is. They understand that. They chose that. That's what you have. All right? You can still try and save a little bit. Planning. And that's what that goes into, is planning, strategic planning. It's funny. We talk about how the Philippines is growing, how it's one of the fastest growing economies in Asia, how it's doing this, how it's doing that. But when you come right down to it, from a technology point of view, nothing talks. They just don't talk to anything. It's just crazy. Literally, my brokerage at a Filipino bank does not talk to the checking account at that Filipino bank. It doesn't. It really and truly does not. This just filters right on down. You will find everything that supposedly is technically driven is always going to have shortcomings. Okay? Gcash, which probably 70% of all Filipinos have and use to pay things, and all of the expats I know use it. That is the most quirky piece of shit software in the world. So you have to plan, and don't count on the Philippines to plan for you and plan for her. So what is your value? Your value is your experience, your ability to rationally have a conversation with your Filipina and say, this needs to be done. We need to take care of these things so that as I get older, I'm taken care of. And as you get older, you're taken care of. Your value is considerably more than just money. Think of it like this. What you would pay good money for in the U.S. when it comes to financial advice and guidance is what you're providing to her for free. You bring a lot more to the equation than you think you do. Tell us what you think about this in the comments below. We'd really appreciate it. Otherwise, please do subscribe and do hit that thumbs up. Thanks. Have a great day.